Om Neelambujashyamalkomalangam Sita Samaropita Vama Bhagam Panau Mahasayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitmanas in Ayodhya Kanda. The verse number is 207. And in the storyline, Bharata, who is leading most of the people in Ayodhya, all his family members, mothers, relatives, friends, guru, he is leading them on to meet Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. Rama, Lakshmana, Sita are in the forest, led by what Kaikeyi had done, asked 2 boons, and 1 boon was that Rama, Lakshmana, Sita were to be in the forest for 14 years. And subtle insight has been given to you before. Again, I can reiterate. Rama is Jnāna movement, not ordinary Jnāna, Param Jnana, supreme wisdom. That's the goal of the soul. Soul is to discover I am Rama. That's Rama is same as Brahman. Rama is same as Krishna. It all depends upon which context you are talking about. But the goal is, no matter what name you are using, the Vedas use Brahman. The same absolute self is Rama. And as personality, Rama avatar, he is paving the way to that supreme knowledge. And is representing the path of wisdom. Lakshmana is representing the path of meditation, called Raja Yoga. Bharata is representing the path of bhakti, devotion. And Shatrugna represents karma yoga, the path of action. Jiva within every individual is Dasharatha. Not every Jiva is just a Dasharatha, but Jiva that is endowed with lot of virtue and has outgrown the world. If your virtue keeps you in the world, your virtue is not power. If virtue takes you beyond the world, leads you to liberation. That's what I mean by beyond the world. Then that's real virtue. So all the 4 aspects are they must operate in an integral manner. So Ramayana, with having so many colors of the story, one story goes on with Ayodhya, another story goes on with Rama, Lakshmana, Sita in the forest. But all together, all this goes on in every personality. Integral movement. Now, at this stage, the role of bhakti is being presented to you. Of all the 4, bhakti is the most powerful secret for your entire yogic movement to succeed. When you do anything with love, 90% of the weight of the work goes away. But if you go on doing things only on the basis of your mental calculation, how many ducks are there, how am I to put them in a row, row and row and row your boat? So it looks very rational, practical, mathematical, precise, scientific. But what love accomplishes surpasses all. Mother with great love, without going into books of medical science, nourishes the baby with profound intelligence and a love that doesn't have chemical analysis. And that's the subtle secret behind everyone's life. That love, to be true love, it must be love of God. Because nothing in the world is really lovable. Anything that is transient, you can't love. Look at the sky, there are countless clouds of wonderful colors. If you are a kid, you say, I like that color cloud. I love it. Similarly, all human relations are, and all that you encounter in the world on the basis of your senses, led by your karma. But why are all these people become so interesting? The love you see you experience through your relatives, it is a reflection of divine love. And with spiritual growth, you are led to understand that by loving God, you render your love to your relatives and friends in the most profound way. That we have to figure out. Keeping that in view, that role of love, known as bhakti, bhakti yoga. Bharata is the personification of that bhakti movement. And so, all that Bharata is encountering, challenges he has to face, and how he faces them, all that brings out insight into growth of bhakti. So everything about Bharata becomes exemplary. Even when he cries, even when he does something that doesn't seem rational. Now, in the storyline, Bharata and all the assembly with him have come to Bharadwaj ashram. And Bharadwaj has welcomed them wholeheartedly. And he is so inspired to see Bharata and his devotion to Rama. And Bharata at this stage was asking Bharadwaj, do Rama and Sita, Lakshmana, especially, does Rama remember me? Or does he consider me? low-grade personality who created a lot of trouble. And to this Bharadwaj is replying, Sunahu Bharat Raghubara Manamahi Prema Patra Tuma Sama Kaunahi. O Bharata, listen. In the mind of Sri Rama, no one is as dear to him as you are. Again, this statement seems like directed towards Bharata as a person. The reality is it's directed towards bhakti, devotion. Whoever has that type of devotion, he becomes most dear to God. And Bharata is telling, rather, Bharadwaj is telling Bharata that Lakshmana, Rama and Sita, they spent their night in that Bharadwaj ashram, but all the night they spent remembering Bharata, remembering you, talking about you, glorifying you. Jnāna maram upnahat prayaga, magan ho hi tumhare anuraga, tum par as sanehu raghubar ke, sukh jeevan jag jas jad nar ke. When they were taking bath in the Triveni river, in Prayag, the great pilgrimage center. During that time, I had communications with Rama. And Rama was expressing his profound love for you. Seeing that, now Bharadwaja uses his own words of allegorical way. Rama was as much in love for Bharata as worldly people are in love for worldly enjoyments, for mundane pleasure. That's what people work for, how to have pleasant life. For that they don't have to study big scriptures. It is spontaneous. But if that spontaneity comes in a profound way, that's compared to Rama's love for Bharata. Means Rama loves Bharata in a spontaneous way. Simple moral behind it. Just like a miser loves gold. And just like people love their objects of pleasure. If that type of spontaneity of love were to develop towards God, you attain the goal of your life. Yahna adhik raghubir badai, pranat kutumba pal raghurai, tum tau bharat mor mat ehu, dhane deh janu ram sanevu. And this is not greatness, some great achievement done by Rama. This is Rama's essential nature. He is all love. And whoever surrenders to him, Rama takes upon himself the responsibility of that person. Not only that person, Kutumbapal, all the near and dear ones of the person are also taken care of Rama. This point is important to understand. You become dear to God, which implies your devotion is advancing. If your devotion is advancing, you are like a blossoming tree. Your blossom is on your tree, but the fragrance goes all around. No one can become a devotee of God just for himself, without inspiring others. So devotion to God is not like ordinary material attainment or any siddhi. It has a profound impact. A wave trying to rise cannot rise by itself. It has to take many waves with it. That's a simple way to understand. Another way to understand, a devotee that has come to the highest state becomes united with God, in communion with God. For that devotee, the entire world becomes his kutumba, his family. What ordinarily people say, universal brotherhood. तुम तो भरत मोर मत एहू धरे देह जनु राम सनेहू. According to my opinion, you Bharata, you are the very embodiment of Rama's love. तुम कहाँ भरत कलंक यह हम सब कहाँ उपदेशु राम भगति रस सिद्धिहित भायः समय गणेश. You think that you are tainted by Kaikeyi's negative action. But all that has happened to you has brought all of us to a state of receiving immense inspiration from you. You have inspired so many people. And Bharadwaj personally talking about himself, how overwhelmed he is to meet Bharata. And if Kaikeyi had not done all that, that opportunity wouldn't have come. And subtle point I have already explained, Kaikeyi's movement is a Vedantic movement of inquiry, vichar. Things go well until you hear from the satsang that you have to practice vichar. What is real, what is unreal? Who am I? And shocking news, you are not the body. I'm joking. But the idea is, the moment vichar enters, you are not satisfied with maintaining worldly prosperity and worldly harmony. That harmony is broken. Your movement will become a subtle process of integral movement. Now vidhu bibalatata jasutora Raghubar kinkar kumud chakora. Your fame, your glory, O Bharata, is like the waxing moon, the moon that goes on increasing. Just a subtle point about bhakti. As bhakti advances, the experience of delight, spiritual delight, grows more and more. So it's called anurakti. You start loving your process, but your love becomes more intense, more intense. How much? You can't measure it. So it's a waxing moon. You are not like the moon that is symbolic of bhoga, enjoyments of the world. Bhoga type of enjoyment wanes. It waxes only to wane. So the worldly enjoyment is also figuratively described as going to Chandraloka, the moon level. And moon doesn't have its own light. So all the light you are having is a delusional light. So that is a negative aspect of same word moon. But in this context, when it relates to Rama, Ramachandra, that Chandra relates to moon that has brought all the glory of the sun. Moon that has extracted the glory of the sun. Try to understand figurative word. Moon becomes so wonderful, showers nectar. How? Because it is drawing from the sun. Therefore, the word name Ram, Chandra, that Chandra of Ram is totally different from the Chandra that the world goes after. Later in the story we realize Ravana had a weapon, Chandrahas, the laughter of the moon. That was his powerful weapon. That's the weapon of ignorance. But here we are talking about moon that is Ananda, absolute bliss. Sun represents absolute Jnana. But Jnana doesn't give you that subtle, tender, nectarine taste. It's Ananda, absolute Ananda. But there is no contradiction. It's the same Jnana completes itself, becomes fulfilled completely, blossoms to perfection, and becomes Ananda. The Rama movement is sun movement. But his complete picture of Rama, complete personality is Ananda. So called Ramachandra. And you can use anywhere, Krishna Chandra. Udita Satha, Udit Sada, Atha Ihi Kabahuna, Khatihna Jaganabar Dinadina Duna. This glory of devotion continues to wax. This moon never sets. It's ever risen and goes on increasing. It will never diminish in its glory. But each day is double the amount of the previous day. Lokati loka priti ati karahi, Prabhu Pratap Ravi Chabihina Harihi. All the three lokas put together and allegorically call the three lokas together as a chakwa bird, a special bird, that name comes again and again, that loves moon. But the moon that chakwa bird loves is not always. It waxes, wanes, rises, sets. But the moon of Rama, Rama bhakti, doesn't come under that limitation. There is no rising and setting. The moon goes on waxing. This moon, that's God's love in brief, is the giver of joy to all forever. And Kaikeyi's apparent negative karma cannot eclipse this moon. Purana Rama Supema Piyusha Guru Avamana Dosha Nahi Dusha Rama Bhagat Ab Ami Agahum Kinhe Usulabha Sudha Vasudhahum. This moon of Bharata's devotion is filled with the nectar of Rama's love. And this apparent disobeying the Guru does not in any way taint or envenom this nectar. What I'm referring to. When Bharata came from the place of Kaikeyi's father and came to learn that King Dasharatha had died, during that time, Guru told him that according to the words of your father, you have to be the king. Just like Rama followed father's words, following. Bharata didn't agree. So it was opposing Guru's words. But that opposing Guru's word, which the scriptures always say, is a great sin. But Bharata didn't commit any sin by that. Rather, Guru and all those well-wishers, they were in a state of cramp, internally cramping in their heart, missing Rama. And Bharata opened the door for seeing Rama. So it was more delightful to them that Bharata did not exactly do what they were asking. That Bharata did something which was much more fulfilling than anyone could imagine. Bhupa Bhagirata Surusari Ani Sumirata Sakala Sumangalas Khani. Just as King Bhagiratha, with his amazing effort, brought Ganges, King Dasharatha, by his great virtue, brought Rama. In fact, all Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Satrughna, all these four aspects of spiritual movement. God in four aspects. And all this is like a Ganges river. And Dasharatha was like Bhagiratha. Who can describe the virtuous qualities of King Dasharatha? Jasu saneha sakochabas राम प्रगट भय आई, जे हरहिय नयन निकबहु, निरखे नहीं अघाई. Led by King Dasharatha's love, Satchidananda Brahman God, Rama, came to Dasharatha's family as his son. And he did it sankochvash, with a shy, when he came like a baby, ready to receive all this scolding. All this has subtler meaning, that if an aspirant is well qualified and you have developed strength of virtue that doesn't allow you to go after worldly pleasure, but now that opens the door to God elevating your soul, leading to liberation. And it takes the form of integral yoga, the form of 4 personalities, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, and all they do. So it is led by King Dasharatha's love. Rama came into his family, and he came with in a very gentle and acute manner. And that Rama, even Lord Shiva, is never fulfilled looking at that gracious Rama. He wants to go on looking at him again all the time, uninterrupted. It's an allegorical statement. Shiva, who is the embodiment of Jnāna that burns up all karmas. The heart of Shiva is full of love. Love for Krishna, love for Rama. Rama and Krishna are one and the same. So in storyline, you always see Shiva praising Rama and expressing that nobody is dear to him as Rama. Rama is his Lord. And Rama in turn says the same thing. No one is dear to him, dearer than Shiva. Kirati vidhut makkinha anupa, jahan bas Rama prema mrigarupa. O Bharata, your fame, your glory is like the moon. And the moon is highlighted by the print in it. Ram Prem is a deer. In this allegorically, they are reading the deer shape in the markings with the moon. So it is divine love, Ram Prem, that is being highlighted by the moon. Moon is advertising it. Tat gala nikarahu jiye jaye, darahu daridrahi parasu paye. That love Rama has for you, and your love is profound. Then, O child, why are you grieving in vain? Having found the wish-yielding gem, holding in your hand, wish-wielding. Anything you ask, it will give to you. And you are frightened by poverty. On one hand, you hold it, and you have forgotten about it. Now you are calculating your economical troubles. सुनहु भरत हम झूठ न कहीं, उदासीन तापस बन रहीं, सब साधन कर सुफल सुहावा, राम लखन राम सिय दर्शन पावा. O Bharata, listen. I never speak anything that is not true. Talking about himself, Bharadwaj says, I am a sannyasi, udasin, not possessing wealth, going after worldly things. I am a tapasvi, devoted to austerities, and I live in this forest. All this he is saying to highlight the point that whatever he is saying is as if he is saying with oaths. And what is he saying? The best fruit of all sadhanas, the goal of all your spiritual practices, is to have darshan of Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. All these details are all allegorical. You have darshan of Rama, you have darshan of all. And darshan of Rama again doesn't mean you open your eyes and Rama was there and then darshan you had and Rama went away. Darshan, dah ashan. Da is a mantra term. It refers to three da. Dhamma, that allows your higher self to win with control of mind and senses. Dhamma. Dan, charity, that allows your human value to flourish. Daya, that sublimates the demoniac aspect, the lower aspect in your personality. That experience which brings about three das and makes you nourished by them. You are hungry and someone brings darshan of the food. When you are satisfied, you are going to get more darshan. Real darshan, be nourished. If you are not nourished, darshan means just word, a storytelling. And Bharadwaj says, the darshan that I received of Sita, Ram, Lakshmana, that darshan has now become fulfilled by having your darshan, Bharata. Your darshan not only has glorified me, but glorified the entire Tirth, the pilgrimage center of Prayag. O Bharata, you are blessed. You have conquered the entire world by your glory. Thus saying, sage was overwhelmed with love. And all this dialogue was being received by people around. They were all listening. They had technical things. Suni muni bachan sabhasad harshe, sadhu sarahi sumanasura varshe. All people in the assembly were very joyous to hear this communication between Bharadwaj and Bharata. And gods started showering flowers, uttering the word sadhu, 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 implying how wonderful, how gracious. In Prayagraj, the pilgrimage center, and in the heavens, Bharata was being praised from all sides. पुलक गात हिय राम सिय सजल सरो रूह नैन करि प्रणाम मुनि मंडली बोले गद गद बैन. Bharata's own personality was experiencing horripilation, which is described very. All the hair in the body comes stretched out. Thrill. Don't take it literal. These are allegorical things. In his heart, Sita Ram began to shine. And his lotus eyes became filled with tears. Having offered adorations, pranams to all these people around, Bharata spoke words that came from his overwhelming heart. Muni samaju arutirat raju sachihu sapatha aghai akaju. This is the assembly, rather the congregation of sages. This is the Lord of all pilgrimage centers. Here, I would not say anything that is not sincere. And I don't even have to say that in the name of Rama or in the name of someone, you are swearing that what you are going to say is the truth. Why? Because this pilgrimage center itself presents that environment. You don't have to assert that you are going to say the truth. I'm giving all the details. All that he is saying, that whatever he is going to say is out of his sincere heart. Tum sarvagya kahau sati bhau ur antarjami raghurau. As if he is talking to Rama. You, O Lord, you are all-knowing. Whatever I am going to say is not secret. Mohina matu kar tab kar sochu. I'm not grieving over what Kaikeyi had done, my mother. Nor am I worried about what will the world think about me. Nahin daru bigarihi paraloku. Pitahu marana kar mohina sakutna soku. I'm not afraid that my hereafter, my heavenly goal will be upset, that I will not get heaven. Nor am I grieving for the loss of Father Dasharatha, because his personality is decked with virtuous karmas and he is blessed with Rama, Lakshmana and all these sons. What is he now concerned? All this allegorical. His whole mind is going after what? Rama biraha taji tanu chana bhangu bhup shocha kar kavana prasangu. Talking about Father Dasharatha. separated from Rama. That pang of separation he could not handle. He gave up his body. What I am grieving about, that Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, they are in the guise of saintly clothes and without sandals, moving from forest to forest. Ajnabasana bal asanamahi sayana dasi kusapat vasitaru taranita sahatahim atam varashabat. Wearing clothes made out of leaves, like big plantain leaves or things of that nature. All these are allegorical. They eat fruits and they lie on kusha grass and leaves for their bed, and living under trees. They go on experiencing cold, heat, rain, wind. Now, all that gives the deeper meaning behind it. The deeper meaning is, Bharata is making a picture of Jnāna movement in the form of Rama. Rama is wearing this and that. And when he said he's suffering, he handling cold, heat, rain, that relates to the Upanishadic statement describing what type of vrata, vow one must make in one's mind. And that's the vow of maintaining tranquility. Tapantam na nindyat. Too much hot comes, don't complain. Varshantam na nindyat. Tadvratam. So that vrata is being practiced. In brief, bhakti movement is eager to blend with Jnana. Jnana and bhakti both must enrich each other. They play the role of supplement, complement. So Bharata will lead Rama to greater glory. Rama in turn will make Bharata mature in his devotion. And that we will continue. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer. May the divine grace of Karunamaya Ras, the shower of nectarine compassion, be received. May that grace shower over all of you. And aspiration for God realization, aspiration for developing love of God, that is the real goal of every individual. May that be highlighted before all people. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om Tat.